first category for induction this evening is the team category. Now, the team category was introduced in 2001, and there are 21 teams, or tonight's induction brings to 21 the number of teams that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Teams are inducted into the Hall of Fame that are recognized for exhibiting domination over a single season or over a designated period of time. And there seems to be some confusion there. I think a lot of people think that a team has to go in just for one particular year. The way it's set up with this particular Hall of Fame, which is different than some others, is that you can nominate a team for a 3-year period, a 5-year period. In tonight's case, a 12-year period, which is very, very unusual, but just happened that way. So that will be the first inductee we will recognize this evening. In 1995, the Orangeville Northmen defeated the New Westminster Junior Salmon Bellies to win the Minto Cup. Remember that date, because for the next 12 years, a period that witnessed 3 Canadian prime ministers, a pair of U.S. presidents, and 5 Ontario Junior A champions, only tonight's inductee in the team category represented BC in competing for that coveted trophy. The team's journey began in 1996 under the guidance of General Manager Jack Crosby and coaches Paul Del Monte and Dave Locke, when, after finishing first in the BC Junior A League with a 21-4 record, they went to their first Minto Cup, losing the 7-game series 4-3 to the defending champion Orangeville Northmen. After dropping the 97 series by a 4-2 margin to Whitby, they hosted their first Minto Cup in 1998, their most dominant season. They cruised undefeated through the regular season, averaging over 15 goals per game and conceding only 5, before sweeping Coquitlam and Port Coquitlam in the playoffs on the way to their first national championship, a 4-1 verdict over 6 nations. For their efforts, the 98 team was named Sport BC's annual Team of the Year, and subsequently, in 2014, was inducted into the Burnaby Sports Hall of Fame. They would win championships again in 2000, defeating Orangeville 4-2, and 2002, defeating St. Catharines by the same margin before, after the 2003 season, Coach Del Monte stepped down after 8 consecutive provincial titles to be replaced by Kurt Malosky. The leadership was changed, but the results remained the same, as the club would compete in 4 more Minto Cup competitions. With the Cup format now a round-robin event leading to the final, they defeated fellow BC representative Victoria 2-0 in 2004, and won their 2nd consecutive title in Calgary, their first win away from BC, by a 2-1 margin over 6 nations in 2005. They would compete, albeit unsuccessfully, in the 06 and 07 national campaigns to end their remarkable and unprecedented 12-year reign as BC Junior A champions. Over this period, they played 269 regular season games, posting an incredible record of 242 wins and only 26 losses. A run that included undefeated seasons in 1998, 99, and 2006, and graduated over 50 players to the National Lacrosse League. Was their strength offense, or was it defense? During their era of domination, they averaged over 14 goals per game while giving up only 6. So you make the call. Truly a remarkable group, defined by their outstanding skills, work ethic, and consistency. Please welcome to the Hall of Fame the 1996 to 2007 Burnaby Lakers Junior A Club. I'd like to ask coaches Paul Del Monte and Dave Locke to step forward and accept on behalf of the Lakers.
Thank you, Dave. It's an honor to be here speaking on behalf of my partner, Dr. Dave Locke, and the Burnaby Junior Lakers. It all began over coffee one evening back in 1995. It's at the White Spot at Lougheed and Gilmore. Jack Crosby, Dave Locke, and myself. Jack loved his Junior Lakers, but he was tired of losing. And he wanted to know if Dave and I were interested in taking the team. A few months later, our first practice at Burnaby Lake Arena. And prior to going on the floor that first time, we met with those initial 14 to 15 guys in the stand, under the old dark dressing rooms underneath the stands at Burnaby Lake Arena. I remember telling the group that it was our goal to build teams that would compete for the Minto Cup every year. Anything less was unacceptable. It's the only reason Dave and I got involved. That certainly grabbed their attention. I'm sure a few thought we were delusional, but they quickly bought in and accepted a new approach, higher expectations, and the journey began. In '96, we did something bold that set the course for our success. We took a young team to Ontario on a preseason exhibition tour. We played 5 games in 5 nights against the best junior teams in Ontario, winning 4 of the 5 games with our only loss coming to Orangeville in a one-sided affair that became a little heated during the game. That same year, our Lakers team, a team with only 4 final-year seniors, a team dominated by 17 and 18-year-olds and one 16-year-old, lost the Minto Cup, as David mentioned, in overtime in Game 7 to Orangeville, a team that featured great players like Josh Sanderson. As close as we were and as difficult a loss as that was to accept, at that moment, the mindset and culture had changed, and the bar was raised. Fast forward 11 years, as David mentioned, the Lakers team at the junior A level dominated lacrosse in BC and in Canada. 12 straight provincial titles, 12 consecutive Minto Cup appearances, and 5 Minto Cup championships. Our team's foundation was always strongly rooted in players from Burnaby. And then we went about surrounding the group with some amazing talent from Richmond, Langley, East Vancouver, Port Moody, Victoria, Alberta, and of course Ontario. And as a result, many great teams were forged. And if you were there last night, you'd see that many lifelong friendships as well. Motivation was never an issue for this team. Winning became an inherent expectation, part of our DNA. And night after night, they were willing to work for it. And they all pushed each other through the process. They gladly tolerated the intense conditioning, whether that was running the trails of Burnaby Lake in January, or countless sprints up the Pandora Street Hill across from the old mountain shadow before we went to practice on the floor. We worked them really hard, but they never wavered in their commitment, and they were relentless in their pursuit of the Minto Cup. Over the years, we were fortunate to be supported and inspired by the late Jack Crosby, and we were blessed to be surrounded by dedicated team managers, equipment people, trainers, and assistant coaches, Dave being among those. My partner on the bench throughout was Dr. Dave Locke. It can be argued that our coaching styles differed slightly. However, we complemented each other, and it obviously worked. And we won a ton of games, coached some amazing young men, had lots of laughs, drank a lot of beer along the way, but most importantly, Dave and I became great friends, and I'm forever thankful for that. I stepped away, as Dave mentioned, in '03, and we made a point, Dave and I, of trying to find the best coach to continue the reign, and of course brought on Kurt Malosky, who unfortunately could not be here tonight, and Ramo Spagnolo, who continued the string for 4 more years. Finally, in the months leading up to tonight, Dave and I reflected on the many great young men we had the pleasure and privilege of coaching. Dozens of them went on to star in the WLA and the NLL. Some of them are firefighters in Burnaby. Many are coaching their own kids in lacrosse. A few have represented Team Canada, Some have gone on to coach and lead NCAA Division I programs, and a group of them coach our national U21 men's field team. It's very rewarding to see them all grown up and doing so well, and more importantly, witness firsthand the strong, lifelong bond they have. We thank them for their commitment, their effort, and unwavering dedication to the Lakers program. This outstanding group of young men is very deserving of this honor. So on behalf of the late Jack Crosby, Dave Locke, Kurt Milosky, Ramo Spagnuolo, and the Junior Lakers, thank you.
I'll say one quick word. My coaching style was to calm Paul down on the bench. However, I just wanted to give the Burnaby Lakers our best wishes to all tonight's inductees. We're very proud to be members of the Hall, as I'm sure you are, and we've got a fabulous group of young men here to represent Burnaby, and thank you.
Now, just as Dave and Paul are making their way back to their seats, I'd like to ask all of the members of those Burnaby Laker teams that are here this evening, players and personnel, to please stand and be recognized. Guys, ladies, please stand. And while you're standing, I just ask these people to maybe just give us a quick wave. We have Minto Cup MVPs for 4 of those 5 Minto Cups here. From 1978, Cam Sedgwick. From 02, Nick Patterson. From 04, Nenad Gaich. And from 05, Ilya Gaich. Congratulations, guys.